As a die-hard Mario fan since I was little, and obviously a fan of Formula 1, the other day I asked myself a question. Obviously, it's a question that only a content creator would ask, because content creators are completely crazy. But anyway, my question was, who would be faster if we took a Formula 1 car to a Mario Kart track? The Formula 1 car or the car that Mario drives? Not Bowser's because he's too fat for passing FIA tests, not even in 100 years. So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our two contenders for this great challenge. On one side, we have the Formula 1 car, the fastest single-seater in the world. V6 engines, hybrid, reaching almost 1,000 horsepower, and an aerodynamics that offers cornering speeds unattainable for any other car on the planet. And on the other side, we have Mario, with his kart and the power of friendship. It doesn't have 1,000 horses, but every coin he picks up makes him go faster. The truth is that the comparison, at first glance, it sounds quite disproportionate and a bit bleak for good old Mario. But in this video, I decided to do a few tests to check it. But how are we going to check this? I mean, you can drive a Formula 1 car in Mario Kart. Well, luckily for all of us, there's something called Assetto Corsa. Several modders have developed different Mario Kart circuits for that purpose, some more faithful to reality, others less so. But the truth is that, in general, they are quite close to reality. Well, I'm talking about reality as if Mario Kart actually existed. When I say faithful, I mean that they resemble what the original Mario Kart game has, so I've chosen the Royal Raceway circuit, that I thought was one of the best recreated. For the first test, we're just going to see who can make the fastest lap on Royal Raceway. In this first test, in Mario Kart, we're going to do a normal lap only using the track, without using exploits, meaning no going off the track and no using mushrooms on the grass. So the first test was with 150 cubic centimeters. And please, don't be creepy, don't come with no! If you use that car with those other wheels and that parachute, I can roll 7 seconds faster than you. Dude, calm down. This is a simple approximation of time. We are not trying to go to the 1000th, nor am I the best Mario Kart player in the world, nor am I by any means. The idea here is just to run a test like any casual player who plays from time to time would do and have a laugh. It's not meant to be taken so seriously. So, getting back to the gameplay, you can see that we finished the lap with Mario clocking in at 44.03. And this, as I said, is only using the track. We can use mushrooms, yes, but always on track. Alright, let's go for the lap, and we can see the Formula 1 car has no problems to beat Mario. At least in this first lap. The elevation changes of the track and the banking make it a real challenge for this car, which is like a tank and is practically in second gear the whole time. But as you can see, after having a bit of a struggle in the last sector, we have no problem clocking in at 42, thus surpassing the 44 we just set in Mario Kart by a good margin. With a few scares along the way, but we quickly got into the 42. The Formula 1 car has passed the first test without much complication. Why don't we look for a world record for 150 cubic centimeters now? Now we have a world record. Yes, from about 7 months ago, I think it was. I don't know what's the world record today, but I don't care at all. It's just to give an example, but let's check what happens if we try to beat that world record for 150 cubic centimeters, where now, of course, we will use some exploit. I mean, here we're going to see that the Mario Kart driver takes shortcuts, using mushrooms to cut through parts of the circuit. This is going to complicate things a lot, but we're going to try to overcome it with the Formula 1 car as well. If you're wondering why we aren't using the 200 cubic centimeter world record, let's just say that in 200 cubic centimeters, they do some things. Wow. Well, if they take shortcuts, you should do it too. Good try. Watch out, because the Mario Kart world record from 7 months ago for 150cc is set at a time of 37 seconds. It's important to point out here that the world record refers to the sum of the 3 laps combined. It doesn't mean that any one of these 3 laps is specifically the fastest in the world. But anyway, as I said, it's just to get an approximation, we don't need the 1000th. And watch out, because this is getting a bit more serious. We start off by setting a time and quickly improve on that 40 as well. Clearly there's room for improvement. We get into 38 jumps, but I start to notice that from here on, it's not going to be so easy to improve. I keep doing laps, and I see that I'm stuck at 38. I can't get under 38, so I can't break into the 37, which is that world record. And after a few more laps, increasingly hooked on the game, I end up scoring a 38.5. I was slowly getting into it, and in the end, I started messing with the setup to modify things related to differential load, because obviously it's such a strange type of track that some extreme modifications had to be made, even to the suspensions, because a key point was the number of bumps and unevennesses there were, which the car obviously wasn't absorbing in any case. So I dove into adjusting the setup with the intention of improving my time, and in fact I did improve my time, and this was the resulting lap. That said, forget any basic notions you have about driving a Formula 1 car, because they don't apply at all on a circuit like this. This is the jungle. I've had laps with a much better racing line than this one that were way slower, because this circuit is clearly a whole different ballgame. There are corners where it's beneficial to go wide. I'm not even asking you to understand it, because honestly, I encourage you to enter and it's fun, you'll have a good time, but it's a very strange thing in terms of driving. However, you can see that I crossed the finish line and the best I got was a 38.3. The biggest problem here is that it's really hard to get a good lap, because it's pretty normal to make a mistake with so much elevation change, so many bumps and so many weird corners. This is not a circuit for Formula 1. And the natural racing lines aren't the right ones. I mean, you have to do everything really weird to go fast here. And I ended up fed up. I said I can't take it anymore. Maybe Jarno will come here and manage for you, but I was missing a whole second to improve, and what you're seeing on screen is a representation of how my head was after trying to improve, this time over 24 laps. Hey, if I keep trying for several days, I might just manage it. I have no idea, to be honest. Maybe, but I didn't make it. So we give the point to Mario Kart. So for now, we have a tie at 1, so we would be 1-1. Do we need to do some kind of tiebreaker, right? Obviously, the tiebreaker isn't gonna be the world record of 200, because you can imagine they won't do it in 15 seconds, I suppose. So, let's do a lap only using the track on 200cc. And I got into this one, and it's complicated because at 200cc, if you don't use drifting, exploits, and all that stuff, you're just crashing all the time because the car goes like crazy, it doesn't have time to brake. So, well, it was a bit of a botched job. Without putting too much effort into the lap, I jumped into the view with Mario Kart and set a time of 34. I mean, just imagine, I was already struggling to get to 37 and I couldn't even do that, and it was 37.5, so I had to improve by a whole second. Just imagine going down to 34. I mean, that's a drop of 3 seconds. And that's it. So you can see how fast the kart goes at 200cc. This is a clear victory for Mario Kart, because the Formula 1 has a lot of aerodynamics, a lot of whatever you want, but give me Royal Raceway and you'll mess yourself. It's amazing. But wait, because the video doesn't end here, because we're going to do one last test. One last test where we're going to face off in a head-to-head a Mario Kart against this Formula 1. But how are you going to do this? Because you can't mix the game with Assetto Corsa anymore. Well, no, but I found a kart. In fact, it's a mod that I already had installed, which is the Matt Formula Team mod. The single-seater developed by the University of Madrid for the Formula Student competition. So there's someone who has created some Mario Kart skins for this car that looks a lot like a kart. It's a mini formula, so to speak, that looks a lot like a kart. And you can see that with the Mario Kart skins, it resembles the cars used in Mario Kart a lot. Obviously, it's not going to be a fair comparison, because this car isn't the one from Mario Kart. The performance is definitely not the same as the Mario Kart, which has very unique features. But hey, just for fun, let's face them off on the track. Alright, I might as well drive the Formula 1 car. Now we are really doing it. Race of 3 laps on the Royal Raceway. We have Formula 1 against, quotations, a lot of quotations, Mario Kart. A car? Leave it at that. It's not even a car. But hey, what does it matter? Let's make a mess. The race is about to start, and we start here with the Formula 1 car, which obviously wasn't going to lose its position. And watch out, things are getting serious, but look, not rookie mistake from the Formula 1 car, and be careful, Luigi touched him, a touch from behind. Oh my god, it's even harder to reposition yourself. And here for a moment I think about restarting. But how are you going to restart this? No, the fun of this is to do it the first time. So there's no margin for error, we had a wild card, and we've used it up. Formula 1 can't make any more mistakes, so let's see what happens, because at the moment the distance seems very complicated. There we have the car, Luigi's car, and pay attention, because we are finishing lap 1. These are the rules of Mario Kart, 3 laps. The Formula 1 car doesn't appear in the horizon. Now we can see it. Oh my god, that's a big distance. I don't know what's going here. Like I said, the Formula 1 car cuts down the distance the most on the straight. Just by accelerating, it's making up a ton of ground. But as soon as they hit the curves, the slopes, the elevation changes. It struggles a lot in the slow corners. The kart is almost going faster. And look at how smoothly Luigi's car entered this section. While the Formula 1 car is extremely clumsy in this part, however, watch out here on the bridge climb, look how it cuts down the distance just by accelerating. Here the power helps a lot. And there we arrive at the ramp here, the Formula 1 car has to brake. Luigi can already see it in the rear view mirrors. Well, it doesn't have rear view mirrors, but it doesn't matter. He can already smell it, he's right on top of him. Last sector, there's going to be a whole lap left. In this straight section, he's probably had to watch out, he goes out of the slipstream. He dives in, but the line is grown. Be careful with Luigi, he might counterattack. This area is very tricky for the Formula 1 car. He goes outside the touch. Luigi gets hit on the outside. Luigi's on the curb. And I can't believe it. Please, what is this? What is this? They have collided, Luigi and a Formula 1 car. This is pathetic. Watch out in this section. Luigi's kart is cutting down a lot of distance. He wanted to try on the inside, but now comes a very favorable area for the Formula 1 car. Look here from Luigi's onboard. Poor Luigi, poor Luigi. In that section, the Formula 1 car practically destroys him. But we are entering the last sector here, but it's not going to be possible for Luigi, because Formula 1 car is going to take the victory. Congratulations to Formula 1 for the victory. It was really tough for Luigi's car. And with that, we're going to wrap up the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I put a lot of effort into making this a fun video, combining two of my biggest passions, Mario games and of course Formula 1. If you liked the video, I really appreciate a big like. Cheers and see you next time.